Hi, this is Deborah Atkinson, Voice for Fitness, here with a tip of the day. Today I'm answering a question by someone who asked it on my website at www.voiceforfitness.com. And the question is, how do I know how or if I'm hiring a qualified and credible personal trainer? And that's a tough question to answer, but a great question to ask. Here's my best answer. What you want to expect at that very first meeting is that a qualified personal trainer is going to sit down with you, and they'll insist on sitting down with you rather than just driving into a workout right away. You want them to ask you questions about your health history, about your activity history. What are things that you've liked in the past, things that work for you, things that you absolutely dislike? And why are you getting started now if that's the reason you're seeking a trainer? What's important to you about now? Have you tried before? And why did you quit? What actually happened before? Those questions will actually help you most with designing a program, but also in helping you stick with it and understanding the change and behavior changes that they need to help you through in order to stick with it. Also, they should ask you some questions about what are your goals, talk to you about whether or not those are realistic and what their recommendations will include, and then really probe about any special conditions that might change your exercise prescription. So after that, lots of pen on paper going on with that, you should expect that they will also look at your standing posture. So none of us are totally symmetrical. Life just drives us right to left, forward and back, but not always in the same balance in either of those. So if you swing a golf club, if you swing a baseball bat, if you carry a child, other than when you're pregnant, you're carrying a child probably on one hip and doing a lot of things on one hand on the other side. And that's just life. It's not good or bad, but it means that certain muscles in you are tighter or are longer than they should be. And we want to exercise you in a way that puts you back in balance. And the only way that a good exercise professional will know that is that they're going to dig to find out what is the status of your body right now. And that's important too if you're a seasonal runner and you're running, for instance, from April to October, and in the winter you're doing something entirely different. Your body will change from week to week and month to month. Whether you're in season or off season, it changes much more drastically. So rechecking posture is also really important in the relationship you have with your trainer. And the other piece of that is movement, your body mechanics. A trainer should ask you at least for a squat. They should ask to look at you doing a squat from the front, side, back, and they'll get a lot of information about that one simple exercise if they're well educated and qualified to do the job. So they may also ask you for some lunges, some rotational exercises, some stretching or flexibility shows of what your range of motion is. And the more, probably the better. They get a good sense of who you are, and while they're doing that, more importantly, you get a good sense of who they are and whether you want to work with them going forward. So here's the bonus. Qualifications that a trainer may have. You often may be tempted to ask the question, are you certified? That's a loaded question. If you are an innocent consumer and you don't know the difference between the 500 certifications that someone could have, the continuum is really wide as far as the credible ones versus those that are just a certificate claiming certification because someone went to a workshop. So drastic difference in how prepared a trainer would be. These three agencies are for ACSM, American College of Sports Medicine, NASM is the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning Association, and last, the American Council on Exercise. These are four of the top tier credentials for certified personal trainers, and those are the ones we looked for when I was a personal training director just not so long ago. Those are the top ones I look for, and usually it's a matter of which one are you going to do first, and then looking at which one is second. There are also agencies that you can become a member of. So someone should be a member of ACSM as well as having been certified for them. You can join NSCA and IDEA, the sister organization of ACE. That also shows great professionalism and desire on the part of your personal trainer to continue learning and networking with professionals that match their own status. So good luck with your search for a qualified personal trainer.